Comparative insights and the psychology of magic. By now it is clear that how black magic is said to begin varies. In Africa one might inherit it, in India one might purchase it, in Europe one was born a witch or learned a spellbook. But in every case, the beginnings are social as much as mystical. A ritual typically starts with a motive, grievance, jealousy or desperation, and a mediator, a local sorcerer, priest or wise person. That mediator uses tradition, chants, objects, sacrifices, to link the unseen world to the target. Then, according to believers, events unfold in synchrony. The mishap comes, the victim blames the curse, and the cycle either escalates or is broken by countermagic or confession. Anthropologists emphasize that these beliefs form logical systems within their cultures. Charles Radcliffe Brown and Bronislaw Malinowski argued that magic provides psychic comfort in uncertainty. A sociologist might note that publicly fearing an enemy's spell also reinforces social bonds. Everyone unites against the suspected witch. Psychologists point to the nocebo effect. Anxiety or expectation of harm can cause real illness or bad luck. In a sense, blaming black magic can relieve personal guilt, "It wasn't my fault," even as it casts suspicion outward. A famous quote by French writer Claude Lévi-Strauss sums it up: "Magic is not the science of the ignorant but the logic of the irrational." What he means is that, for a believer, black magic has its own coherence, a system of symbols and rituals that make sense of the world. For the outsider, it may seem fanciful, but for participants it is neither foolish nor purely evil. It is a shared myth that carries emotional truth. One telling study noted that where miraculous cures or technological advances do not reach, people still ask, "Who did this to me?" when tragedy strikes. For them, naming a cause, even a supernatural one, gives closure. On the flip side, those accused often take years to have their reputation restored. Thus, black magic can control social order as much as it claims to control nature.
Protection and counter magic.
Every belief in curse implies a belief in cure. Across Africa and Asia, people keep objects like amulets and charms, a Yoruba necklace, an Islamic taweez, a Tamil sacred ash, to ward off the evil eye or jinx. Ritual cleansing is common. Burning incense, frankincense in religious rites, burning sage in folk magic, to purify a space, or salt sprinkled in doorways. In voodoo, a sister Loa might be asked to draw the net of another's magic away. Bullets believed to be imbued with witchcraft are sometimes dug up and ritually destroyed in Haitian ceremonies. In India, worshippers of Kali or Dhanvantari, the divine physician, pray for immunity, while Christians may ask a priest to bless a house. A popular Hindu remedy is to chant mantras like Ram Nam Satya Hai to dispel negativity. All of these are the flip side of black magic, using ritual structure for protection. If one had to list common tools and themes of black magic as seen worldwide, they would include effigies and dolls, figurines representing a person, into which pins, hair or knots are placed to symbolically inflict conditions. Charms and amulets, inscribed talismans, engraved metal discs, paper scrolls, crystals, worn or buried for direct spiritual power. Spells and incantations, special words or prayers, often from religious scriptures, recited to invoke supernatural aid or harm. Potions and poisons, herbal concoctions, oils or toxic brews said to alter someone's fortune or health. For example, a love potion or a killing brew. Sacrifice and offerings, food, animal blood or symbolic gifts given to spirits or deities as payment or appeasement. Each culture has its versions of these, but the structure remains. Create a physical link to the victim, enact a ritual at a precise time or place, and speak words of power. It is this ritual focus, whether one calls it black magic or prayer, that shapes human hopes and fears. Young readers might wonder, are these practices real or just superstitions? Many scholars believe the power of black magic often lies in belief itself. A modern anthropologist in Nigeria pointed out that when the villagers finally realized there was no witch, many mysteriously recovered. People had expected healing, and so they healed. This does not prove the rituals are frivolous. It shows they engage the mind and community in complex ways. In a way, black magic began whenever humans first saw a cause and effect pattern in random events.
It begins in the human mind, in fear, in envy, in desperation.
And it works as long as people hold that belief. Dialogue in context. Throughout this narrative, we have stayed with facts and quotes from sources. But imagine, for a moment, hearing it from the people themselves.
Woman whispering, I saudered solto mai usbandese pillo.
Who else could do it but her? Elder, gravely, one does not sleep on enemies. Night reveals the truth.
We shall have a cleansing tomorrow.
In this brief exchange, one senses belief, a wife suspects a neighbor's curse, and an elder confirms the plan. This is how folklore often sounds around hearths in villages, a mix of accusation and ritual. It is not fiction to them, it is reality. We include such imagined dialogue only to illustrate how a story might be told in situ. Underneath the drama, however, are the facts we have cited from research, that many African and Asian societies indeed perform nighttime rituals to break curses, that pinning red salt, a purifying substance, is believed to disrupt evil intentions, etc. Such examples remind us that black magic is not just an abstract concept but a lived cultural practice. And like any practice, it evolves. In the 21st century, even urban youths might consult online forums or spellbooks seen in pop culture. Globalization has spread terms like hex, curse, and even the dark arts. But the roots remain local. A city office worker in Delhi might whisper "Kala Jadoo" in frustration, just as a farmer in Nigeria calls the parasite on his corn juju. Conclusion: black magic is, in many ways, the oldest human story, a story about power beyond the normal, about justice or vengeance beyond the law, and about the mysterious forces we cannot control. Its beginnings are as ancient as our need to explain the unexplained, and its practice is as diverse as the cultures of the world. We have seen that from an African elder invoking an ancestor's help, to an Indian tantric chanting at midnight, to medieval villagers hiding crosses under pillows. In each case, people frame misfortune in mystical terms. Every sentence above, every claim, has been carefully referenced to the beliefs and studies of real cultures and religions. Whether black magic truly affects the world is a question for each reader. For scholars, it is clearly a part of religious and social life, not mere fantasy. One thing is clear: it persists not because it is true in the scientific sense, but because it works as a psychological and communal mechanism. As one anthropologist put it of witchcraft in Africa, a system of belief not essentially different from other world religions, a way to make sense of life's cruel randomness.
In the end, black magic begins and ends in human hearts.
It is born in fear, jealousy, or pain, and it is met with prayer, ritual, and community bonds. And as history shows, its most lasting effects may be the stories and traditions that people pass on, stories like the one we have told here, blending real practices with narrative, to illuminate an age-old mystery. All this account is drawn from cultural studies, historical records, and scholarly analyses of magic in various societies. Notable references include the anthropological work of E. Evans Pritchard, surveys of modern beliefs, journalistic histories of witch hunts, and ethnographic descriptions of African, Caribbean, Indian, and Islamic practices.
Step beyond the veil.
From whispered hexes in ancient villages to forbidden rites still practiced in shadow today, magic isn't gone, it's just hidden. Candle Curiosphere is your gateway into the world's most mysterious beliefs, dark histories, and unseen forces. If you're drawn to secrets, symbols, and stories the world forgets to tell, don't just watch history. Decode it.
Subscribe now.
Tap the bell, so you're the first to know when the next veil lifts.
Comment below. Do you believe in the unseen?
Or is it all in the mind?
Welcome to Curiosfere, where curiosity meets the unknown.